guys, this is Rosa Kelly. Welcome back to the channel and happy October 1st. So I decided super last minute to create an October daily mini album journal style. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. So I have this little golden book that my daughter actually got me last year. She thought it would be really cute for me to make a journal out of that, but I never actually did it. So I think I'm gonna be working on that today and transforming this little golden book onto a beautiful journal slash album to document all of the October memories. So I'm going to be using the little golden book. I'm also going to be using some chipboard. So this little piece I cut at this is 8 inches, which is the size of my book, by 2.5. Okay, and then I'm just using what I have on my stash on through like junk journal style slash last minute project, and hopefully I can get a good use of this paper pack and just gonna add it all in. So I have a few pages left and some little scraps, so I think that's gonna be perfect for these. I'm gonna be using just probably one piece of cardstock to do the binding, and I also have some fabric. This fabric is gonna be optional, but since I have it, I've just found this on my stash, I thought this would be perfect for the spine of this book. And so yeah, so now let's go ahead and start. I don't have really big plans, so I figured this will be an ongoing project for the entire month of October. We can come and keep adding things and of course documenting our memories here as well. So I'm going to start by just removing the staples on the little golden book, and I do like to preserve the story, so I don't like altering the order of the pages when I transform my little golden books, because I still want to go back and look at the story. For the most part, when I transform these books, they really remind me of when my kids were little and we were like reading the stories together. So I have a little collection there, but from time to time I do like to transform these journals into fun, ways to document their memories. So I'm looking for this tool here. Okay, and so I'm just gonna start by removing the staples. Here we go. Just gonna try not to get myself here. And so hopefully you're inspired to start an October journal, and even if it's past October 1st or we're not prepared, that's okay. We can just go with the spare of the moment. I woke up super inspired this morning. It's like 6 a.m. when I'm recording this video, because I said it's now or never. Okay, so I'm almost there removing these staples. Okay, so we're just gonna do that, and then I'm just gonna try to get these out. There we go. Now I know I'm going to split the spine to add a bigger spine, so we're just gonna go ahead and cut these right here. And this was actually she picked this up from Target, so if you want to do a last minute project and you want to use a little golden book, that's probably a good place to find one of these. Okay, so I'm just gonna carefully remove and not alter the page sequence, and we're just gonna put those two signatures over to the side, and I'm just gonna finish up removing here the staples. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to get this from this side. Okay, so let's push this, and I have to remove a little bit of that golden here, which is okay because we're gonna rebind this book. Okay, I just don't want to cut this piece off. You know, you want to keep that. So we're gonna take out this stapler. Oh, there it went. Okay, and then same thing over here. Take this out and see. Oops. I'm really trying not to cut my fingers, so be very careful with that. I'm just trying to remove the tape and just take out that staple. There we go. Okay, almost. Okay, so here we go. I'm just gonna make sure those are not on the floor because I do craft without shoes and socks and I don't want to be stabbed. Okay, there we go. And so I am just going to gonna even these. I'm just gonna cut all these little pieces that I lift up. Okay, so there we go. So now we are going to redo and add the spine here. So I'm going to use the little chipboard piece and my cardstock. So I'm just gonna put this piece here, and again this is about 2.5. So I'm going to cut my cardstock. We are just gonna do this at, let's do 3.5. Okay, and we're gonna also do this by 8, just so we have a base to glue that. And then for the inside I'm gonna make this bigger. Okay, so for the inside this one's gonna be 5 by 8. And you know, there's always different ways to do this. Every time I do one, I just do it a different way. I don't really stick to one technique. Sometimes I take out this entire piece and just make it more journal size, but this time I do want to keep the entire size of this. Okay, so we are going to glue the spine here. Okay, so I'm just gonna add the chipboard right there. Okay, and I'm going to add this back piece. Just add some glue here, and I do want to leave a tiny space in between these two pieces. Maybe I can clean the edge here. Just clean the edge. Okay, and we're just gonna place this piece right there, leaving a little space in between the two, and we're gonna glue that. Now for the front, I want to make sure I don't cover a lot of these, so maybe I can make this front piece just a little bit smaller. Okay, and I am going to add the glue here, and then again I'm just gonna clean the edge. Okay, there we go. Place that right there like that. Okay, so I guess I used the bigger piece on this side. No wonder it was a little long, but okay, that's fine. Now I just went ahead and cut another one, and this one is gonna go on the inside here. Okay, and I'm gonna add a little glue, and this is just to really bind all of these together. Okay, so I'm just adding some glue, and we're gonna place this piece right here and press down. Okay, so we're just gonna press and press down, and we're going to score on the bending lines. So I'm just gonna find that gap and we're going to score right here. Okay, and then same thing over here, and we're just gonna bring this up, fold this here. As you are bending, you want to score. Okay, and then I'm just gonna press down. Make sure your glue is dry before you start folding. So I'm just gonna do that, and then I'm gonna do this side over here, and okay, so there we go. Okay, so we have these binded together. Now I'm going to use my fabric to just kind of reinforce, but also to make it look really nice. You can also use some paper. If you don't have fabric, that's totally okay. You can just use paper and just cut a piece and do it like that. So I am just gonna cut, this is very uneven, but I'm just gonna cut a piece here. And just do a long piece, and I might have to even this out, but you know what, we're just going with the flow, and I'm not overthinking because, like I said, super early in the morning and I do have to get ready for work. Okay, so we are just gonna use these as a reference. So I want about an inch on the top, and this depends because you could wrap it around the cover like this, which is what I want to do, or you can just have it flush. You just glue it and then just trim the extra. So either way. Now I just want to make this fabric even. I'm just gonna get it as even as I can. Let's see, maybe over here. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna fold it. Okay, so hopefully that's a little bit more even. And then I'm just gonna cut this piece. And I do have a cutting mat and, you know, a roller, you know, one of those pizza cutter looking cutters for fabric, so I can cut straight. But I just don't want to set all of that right now. Okay, so this is close enough to being even. So we're gonna place this here. Don't worry about your edge not being perfect, because I am gonna do a little trim there with some lace or something like that. Okay, so that's gonna go like this, right, and like that. Now it's up to you if you want to cover the back of your journal. I think I do, so I'm gonna make something a little bit more dark. So maybe, you know, something to kind of go with that. I'm thinking even this, I think this will go really nice with the theme. Sorry about that. Okay, and so we're just gonna put that here before we add the fabric. And because I don't want to measure, I'm just gonna add my glue. And we're gonna glue this piece. Make sure you got a lot of glue on the edges, and we are just gonna place that right here. Okay, so press down, and then we're going to cut the paper, extra paper that we have here. Okay, so we are just going to cut. And then I just also want to make sure this side is even. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that seems pretty even here. And there you go. And now we're just gonna glue this fabric right here. I feel like I could do a little bit better with this edge, so I'm just gonna try and cut it a little bit more evenly. There we go. So we're gonna try this again over here. Okay, that should do it. Yeah. It's good enough, right? So now we're gonna be using either fabric glue. I'm gonna use 3-in-1 craft glue to glue this piece. So I suggest not adding a lot of glue because you don't want to wrinkle your fabric, or you can test your fabric before you glue it. Just gonna, you know, cut a little piece or use your little scraps and glue them on paper to see if the glue will, you know, kind of show on the outside of the fabric. Okay. So I'm assuming this is on my stash because I have used this before. So I'm just trusting the glue right now. I just love the texture. Okay, so there we go. And then I'm just gonna go here around. So when you go around, you can add a lot of glue on this side because you won't really see this. And I'm just gonna hold it right there. And then same thing here. Okay, we are just gonna hold that piece of glue right there like that. Okay, so this glue, this fabric is kind of like shredding a lot of this. That's why I want to go all the way around. I feel like if I cut it on the edge, it's gonna continue to do that. So hopefully this way it won't be doing that for too long. Look at that. Now we have our binding all ready. Let's see. Let's cut that a little bit. And it's starting to look like something right now. I like how this is. I like where we're going with this. Yes, that's cute. Okay, so now I do want to now cover this fabric, and so we're gonna add paper here again. And this is the paper that you're gonna be seeing on the outside, or you know, in between the pages. So you can pick something a little bit pretty, or you know, something dark, whatever you want over here. So I'm gonna use this piece and I'm going to cut. We're gonna cut these at 8 inches. So this is gonna be the same size as the book. So 8. And then I'm gonna cut this by like 6. Okay, so you want this to be bigger than the piece that you cut here, so you can cover all of that. Okay, and then that's gonna cover and secure all that is happening there at the center. So we're gonna add glue, okay, on the sides, and we're gonna add a lot of glue here. And we're also going to add fabric glue on this side here. Okay, and now I am ready to place this piece. Okay, and then just press down because it might be a little bulky next to your fabric. So you just want to press down here. Press. and then you really want to give this a minute to dry before you bend it again. Okay, so we are just gonna do that. Press down and press down. Okay, and then on the meantime, I'm going to cut 2 pieces that are going to be for my inside covers. So I think I forgot to measure the size of the book, but I think if I cut these pieces at like 6 inches, we should be okay, like 8 by 6, and then we can just put that right on the inside. And I want to use this gold page. Hopefully this is big enough. Let's see. So we want these to be 8. Let's see if this is 8. This might be a little too small. Oh, this is exactly 8. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna do 8, and I'm just gonna cut right before that little opening. So I don't want that hole. Okay, so this is about 5 3/4 or 5 1/2. Okay, and we are just gonna glue this on the inside covers here. And we're gonna put one. Let me just make this a little bit more straight. Oops. Okay, there we go. And we're going to do the other side. Okay, so that is going to go over here. Press down. Okay, there we go. And so now we're gonna fold our book again. So I'm just going to find those bending lines here again. It's gonna be a little hard to see because of the fabric, but it's right about here. So I'm just gonna kind of find it, and then I'm gonna score. Okay, so there it is. So you're gonna find your bending line right there, and we're going to score. Okay, so give it a good score, and then we're going to fold this up and just do the same thing we did before. Okay, so we're just gonna score as we fold. Okay, so we're just gonna do the same here on the other side. So right about there is my folding line, and there you go. Now it looks it looks so nice. I just love it. So that's gonna be the cover for this book, and I think I'm actually gonna stop here for today, and I'm gonna try to do the pages later on. And so hopefully you guys enjoy this quick process slash tutorial ish, and we're gonna be building this together. So hopefully I am giving you a little motivation for you to start an October journal or October daily, however you want to call it. I think I have learned from experience on the past years, having an October daily kind of forces me to go out there and do things like pumpkin patch, spirit, you know, go Halloween shopping, decorate, take pictures. You know, it brings the spirit, believe it or not, of, you know, just celebrations. It's all fun. I know not everybody celebrates Halloween, but I think it's super fun for the kids to do, not take it too seriously. And so yeah, so I think, like I said from previous years, when I don't keep on October daily, it's kind of like oh, we're not doing things. But when I have an October daily, it just motivates me to do something a little bit holiday-ish related every day. And so I'm hoping to bring this spirit. So today we're actually going to be decorating the house this evening, and I'm excited to take some pictures of that and start adding them to my book. So on the next part for this, I guess we're gonna call it a little series. We're gonna be adding the pages to this golden book that we're creating. So we're gonna leave this on hold for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.